So we'll begin in a seated position. I just said, do you have something like a block nearby? And if you're feeling a little bit stiff this morning, maybe having had a rest over the weekend, do maybe sit on the block to support yourselves. Let's rest the hands down where they feel comfortable. Maybe move a little bit through your shoulders or wiggle out your sit bones or whatever else feels right for you at the moment. If you like, and there's not much distraction around you, you could choose to close the eyes as you begin to take the awareness from this outside world inwards a little bit. Isn't that always our goal when we come to the practice, to bring the awareness from everything that is distracting us outside and around us more towards our more inner self, or into that connection that we're seeking through this practice. Once you've found a physical position that's suitable for you, you might be able to even rest the eyes closed or really steady your gaze forward if it's too challenging to close the eyes. When I went with my hand along the pile of cards that is sitting here to my side, again the secret color cards came out, and the card that wanted to find this practice is turquoise. It says, awaken your empathy. So if you like, you can bring this color in front of your closed eyes, a way to connect to the color and to invite it into your awareness. Turquoise inspires us of communication with feelings, builds confidence in our abilities, connects you with your intuition, and awakens your empathy. Turquoise makes ancient wisdom available and can provide a sense of connection to your inner mastery. So it's not just about empathy. And empathy, yes, we do want to nourish that towards other beings, but maybe also towards ourselves and whatever is going on for us. So if any of these words resonated with you, I suggest you take a deep breath in and you allow your out-breath to be more of a sigh. And you're relaxing about these words and you're taking them right into your practice today. Maybe it is about building the connection towards yourself that it is that you need today. Maybe it's some other part, or maybe you just simply need to take good care of yourselves today. If you like, you can make this your intention for the practice, or if you prefer, you could stay with the color turquoise in the mind. This would have already brought you into a different way of noticing yourself. As you begin to gently deepen your breathing. Noticing where the breath is starting to move your physical body. Noticing if through the deepening of your breath, you can feel that the physical body is naturally adjusting itself. Maybe it isn't, and that's fine too. Allowing the breath to build a wave in your physical body, in and out of the nose if possible. If you prefer full yogi or ujjayi breaths, you could commence with that. But I would rather nourish just a full breath if that is too hard or too much thinking involved. So I invite you to stay more connected to your intention towards the class or towards your inner connection than to a technique this morning. Experiencing the breath flowing in and out of the nose. And noticing what your mind is feeling more drawn towards, the inhalation or the exhalation, while you keep your breath nourishing deep but without stress or strain. While you keep your breath now flowing in this way, introducing a movement that we will expand on throughout the practice today. If you like, you can open the eyes, but keep your gaze still quite steady for now. Interlacing your hands right in front of you, but resting the arms back down. Palms will be facing upwards for now. Please be mindful in these movements about your shoulders and rather do a little bit less if you need to. As your next inhalation comes, lifting the interlaced hands roughly about to your heart. Then turn the palms of the hands down, and while you're breathing out, pushing the palms of the hands down towards the ground, towards the earth. Let's do that simple movement again. Turn the palms of the hands upwards. Take a breath in as you're lifting the hands, the energy towards the heart. Turning the palms of the hands down, and with your out breath, pushing the energy back downwards, down towards the earth, towards your base. Let's do that once more and begin adding another movement. Breathing in as you're lifting up towards your heart. Keep the breath full, slow, turn the palms down, and out breath to push the hands down towards the ground. While you breathe in now, keep the palms facing downwards. Begin to lift the arms out in front of you. And as you're breathing out, push the palms out and just round a little bit into your back, lowering the head. Release that interlace now as you take a breath in, opening the arms out wide. And when breathing out, let the hands come back down into their interlace. And you can change the interlace now if you like. Inhaling, lifting the hands up towards the heart. Turning the palms down. On your out breath, pushing down towards the earth. And you can make this now as strong as you like. Inhaling, lift the arms out in front of you. And with an out breath, push the palms out, round the back away from you, lowering your chin. As you next inhale, release the interlace. Maybe keep the wrists at flexion as you're opening up. And with your out breath, release back down into the interlace in your lap. Let's do that once more. Breathing in as you're lifting up towards the heart. Turn the palms down. Breath out as you're pushing down to the earth. Inhaling, lifting out in front. And as you're breathing out, pushing forward with the palms rounding into the back, lowering the head. You can keep the wrist at flexion as you breathe in to open the arms. And when breathing out, release back into the interlace. We'll change that slightly. Breathe in as you're lifting up to the heart. Turn the palms down. That stays the same as you push towards the earth on your out breath. Inhaling again, lifting the arms forward. Now we will change. As you breathe out, keep the interlace to twist. Take a breath in, open the arms within your twist. And as you're breathing out, turn to the center, finding your interlace again. Inhaling, lifting to your heart. Turn the palms down, breath out as you push to the earth. Inhaling to lift your arms out in front. Keep the interlace as you breathe out and twist towards your left. Inhaling as you release your interlace while remaining in your twist. And as you're breathing out, coming back to the center, interlacing again. Let's do that once more to each side. Breathe in as you lift. Breathe out to push down to the earth. Inhaling to lift up the front. Exhaling to twist to the right. Inhale, open the arms here. And when breathing out, center with another interlace. Inhaling, lift. Exhaling, turn and pushing down. Inhaling, lifting up at the front. Exhaling, twisting to the left. Inhaling, open the arms out. And exhaling, returning into your interlace. Last change we'll make in the sit. Inhale, lift. Turning down, breath out as you're pushing downwards. Now, if your shoulders allow, take a deep breath in and lift the arms now all the way up towards the ceiling. And as you're breathing out, then bending a little bit to the right. Taking a breath in as you center yourself. And with your out breath, lowering the arms all the way around and finding your interlace again. Breathe in as you lift to your heart, that doesn't change. And as you breathe out, pushing the palms down. Inhaling, do less if your shoulders aren't willing to go all the way. And as you're breathing out now, bending over to your left hand side. Let's breathe in to find center. And on your out breath, let your arms slowly return back into the interlace. We'll do that once more to each side. Think about the quality that you've chosen to work with. Maybe in regards to the color turquoise. And if there's no quality, just showering yourself with the color as you release the arms in a little while. Out breath, we're bending to the right. Inhaling, come to center. And this is the time to shower yourself either with the quality that you want to invite or with the color turquoise if nothing particular comes to mind. Once more on the other side, breathing in, breathing out. Inhaling to lift. Exhaling for a side bend. Inhaling as you lift and your awareness back to what you're working with as you're breathing out to release the arms. I will ask you if you've had a support underneath to remove that now and to find your way up onto all fours. I'll be taking my socks off, so I prefer to have a little bit of a grip onto the floor. If you're still wearing some, you might do the same. Finding your way up onto all fours. The usual setup as you allow your knees to be a little bit apart, your hands to rest at about shoulder distance and slightly forward from underneath the shoulders. That's more about your wrists. Simple movements to enhance what we've already done. Cat-cow as you soften your elbows, lift your chest, your gaze, your tailbone, and on your out breath then rounding deeply into the back. Let's take a breath in, repeat that. Inhaling to open your front. Exhaling to round into the back. Just once more. Holding yourself here in the rounded position, and you might even start to draw up your navel towards the spine. Then releasing that back into neutral. Feeling actually the ground that you have underneath you. I'd ask you to take a breath in and extend your right leg back. Keep the hips facing down. Find length now from your toes up to the top of the head. And on your out breath, begin to draw your knee up towards your nose. Keep it there. Feel the roundedness of your back. Maybe even lifting the foot a bit closer up and away from the ground. And then if it is available to you, stepping the foot forward. I'd love you to be grounded down into this foot. To also ground down into the top of the foot there at your back. To interlace your hands, if that works for you. You could always stand up a little bit taller to begin with. And as you take a breath in, pulling up towards the heart. Now turn the palms of the hands downwards. And as you breathe out, pushing down in towards the ground. While you're inhaling, lift the arms out in front of you. And as you're breathing out, swing the arms all the way behind. Maybe interlace the hands here as you lower your torso on top of your thigh. You might lower the head gently, carefully, and you might start to lift the arms a little bit away from the back. If you would like to go a bit deeper here, you can aim for a more humble warrior pose. As you lower your right shoulder towards the inside of your knee. So I will demonstrate that to the front in case it's not quite that clear. I've also moved now my left foot a little bit across, so to help with the balance. I will ask you to release this pose, whichever variation you're in, by releasing your hands back down either side of your right foot. To slide the foot along the mat and extending the leg back as you keep your toes tucked under. Finding your stance. If it is available to you, lift the other knee as well or lean forward towards a kneeling plank. Knees can stay on or off the mat as you're exhaling to lower down towards the floor. Untuck the toes once you're here. As you let your arms slide down by the sides of the body, keeping your legs on the ground. Let's take a breath in to lift the head to the chest, engaging down into the legs so the knees might lift, and you could lift your arms out by your sides. Shoulders encouraged to lift off the floor as well. Stay here, breathe. Next, out breath, release onto the mat. Bring your hands by the sides of your ribcage, inhaling to come off the ground, exhaling for your extended child's pose. Keep the arms away from the ground and get into a big reach forward, the shoulders relaxed. Head doesn't have to be on the floor, bonus if the forehead touches the ground. As you next inhale, lifting back up onto all fours. Finding a cat as you're rounding your back. Again, please draw the navel up towards the spine if that's possible. Then come to neutralize your back. Even lifting the head lightly to come into a neutral back of the neck. And as you next inhale, extending your left leg back. Point out through the toes. Keep the strength in the arms. Pressure down into the top of your right foot. On your next exhalation, draw your left knee in towards your nose. Keep the rounding of the back. Hold it here. Lift your left foot a bit further away from the mat. And then step the foot between the hands. I'm aware that it might not get there in the first place. Please help it there. Same option. If you need to stand a bit higher, that's fine. If you can, find the different interlace with the other finger on top. As you take a breath in, pull this up to your heart as you're lifting. Turn the palms down, your out breath as you push towards the floor, the earth. Inhaling, reaching your arms out in front of you. And as you're breathing out, let the arms reach out and behind as you're leaning forward. If this works for you, interlace your hands. Maybe your gaze lowers gently, and you might lift your arms away from your back. If you want a bit more, take the right foot a bit across. Lean towards the inside of your knee. Lower your head all the way and lift your arms a bit further. Playing around once more with a humble warrior variation. To release from this pose, let your arms relax, placing the hands down either side of your left foot this time. Sliding the left foot back as you're extending into the leg. Keep the toes tucked under and on the ground. Your choice of lowering the knee, adjusting for a kneeling plank, or extending the other leg and finding a full plank position. Inhale. And as you're exhaling, lowering down onto the front of the body. Let your arms again slide down along your sides. Keeping the arms either by your side or interlacing them behind your back. If you're interlacing, let's slide the arms long onto the back. Keep the legs down for now. Push down into the feet. As you inhale, lift your heart. Your shoulders might extend as you're lifting the arms away from the back. And please do find your variation here. If you feel it's appropriate, you could then start to lift the legs off the floor as well, deepening, extending into your back bend. Stay, if possible, 2 more breaths. If you need the hands to be separate, keep them separate or try and bring the palms together. Then breathe out and soften towards the floor. Placing your hands back down by your sides. Breath in, come up onto all fours. Exhaling, extending into a child's pose. Same here, please keep the child's pose active. Reach out into open fingers. On your next breath in, returning onto all fours. Tuck the toes under. If you like to stay, please do. Otherwise, roll up through the spine, finding a downward facing dog. And as usual, please move this down dog freely, pedaling into the legs, a swing into the hips, a movement into the arms, whatever it takes for you to find this comfort within your down dog. Keeping yourself moving as you bring your feet now forward towards the front end of your mat. You will naturally be in a forward fold. Allow your knees to soften and let the head hang. Breathing in, interlacing your hands. Breathing out as you're rolling up into standing. Breathing in to lift your hands now to your heart space. Turn the palms of the hands down, push down as you soften your knees. Let's take a breath in. The legs might straighten as you push down into the feet. The arms are lifting all the way. And as you're breathing out now, bending to your right hand side. Inhaling to lift the arms. Knees might soften again as you shower yourself with what you are working with, and the arms slowly releasing down by your sides. Change the interlace of your fingers. Breathe in, lift up to your heart. Turn the palms down, soften your knees as you're pushing towards the earth. Inhaling, lifting, feet are strongly connected to the ground. And when breathing out, now bending towards your left. Inhaling as you lift. While you release your arms and shower yourself, bend the knees and come down into a forward fold. Inhaling as you straighten your spine to the front for a half lift. And on your out breath now, stepping your right foot back. Only about 1 meter and about out to hip distance for warrior one stance. So the whole back foot is grounded but in an angle. Not possible, heel can be off the floor. Keeping your left knee in a bend, maybe bring yourself a bit higher or interlace the hands. As you're breathing in, push down into the ground and lift your hands back to your heart. Then turn the palms down. As you're breathing out, you're pushing towards the earth. As you're inhaling, lifting your arms out in front. And as you're breathing out, let the arms reach out while you are leaning forward. If you need support, lower the back knee to the floor. Belly might come to rest on your thigh while you're interlacing the hands. Lengthen down into the arms, into the top of the head as you're breathing in. And maybe lifting the arms up and away from the back. You can choose to stay here or turn your torso lower and extend further towards a humble warrior. Slightly different stance to usual. Head might relax completely. Let's release the hands. Place them down onto the mat. Step back into a full or a kneeling plank. Absolutely your choice. We're going through a flow. As you exhale, lower on or towards the mat. Breathing in, finding your cobra or even an upward facing dog. And then pushing the floor away. You can come straight into a down dog or work with the extended child's pose as you're breathing out. You can stay here even or inhale to all fours and then breathe out to find your down dog again. It's entirely up to you if you're using this practice as a stronger experience or if you're supporting yourself more because that's what you're needing today. So if you need the extra support, please come down onto your knees to move. So from your next inhalation, let's extend the right leg back, all fours or downward facing dog. And when your next out breath comes, pull your knee up towards your nose. See if you can hold it there for a moment. And then stepping the foot forward. Well, you might come onto your fingertips. Step the back foot a little bit in and out. So we're finding our warrior one stance. About hip distance and 1 meter back. Foot is grounded, ideally completely in an angle. If you can move from here, find your odd interlace or lift your body a bit. Keep the front knee at a bend. Your next inhalation, pull up towards your heart space. Turn the palms down and breathe out to push towards the earth. As you're inhaling, then lifting the arms out in front. And starting with your out breath, wrists might stay flexed to circle the arms out, leaning the torso back towards the thigh. And you might interlace the hands in an odd way behind your back. As you inhale, lengthen the arms and reach forward to the crown. Your choice to deepen as you might lean towards the inside of the knee, lower the head entirely and lift your arms, or you can stay here and lift the arms with the support of your thigh. So please finding your variation. We're all in completely different bodies each time we come to our mat. When we release this pose, place the hands back down onto the mat. Lift the back heel, step your foot to the front. Breathe in, finding your half lift. Hands to shins, fingertips to the floor. And a breath out to fold forward. Let the neck relax. Maybe shake it as if you are saying no. And then a yes. As we interlace the hands. Bend your knees if you need to. Take a breath in as you're rolling up. Bring the hands up towards the heart space. Turn the palms down, knees are softening, breathing out. And you might bend the knees a little bit more. On your in-breath, push into the feet, lifting the arms up. On your out-breath, bending to the side. Inhaling, center. And again, think about the quality, the color you're working with as you lower through your arms. Interlace in the odd way. Inhaling, lift up to your heart. Turn the palms down, bend the knees a little bit deeper, push a little bit lower. Press down into the feet as you inhale to lift. And bending to the other side on your out breath. Inhaling, lift again. Same here, bend your knees while your arms are reaching out. Start to bend forward, hands coming down towards the mat. Inhaling to your half lift. On your exhalation, stepping your left foot back. Please find that same warrior one stance if possible. Keep the front knee again in a bend, interlace your hands. As you're inhaling, push into the ground, hands coming up towards the heart. Turn the palms down, breath out as you're pushing towards the floor. Now let's inhale and lift the arms out in front. Keep the hands interlaced as you're breathing out to twist. And if you like, you can lift the back heel now, as that might get you a bit further. When you next inhale, reach your arms out towards the side. As you're breathing out, center yourself and release the arms by your sides. Interlace at the front. Inhaling, lift the hands. Turn the palms down, breathe out. And notice your back heel might still be off the floor if you prefer. Inhaling, lift out the front. We might deepen a bit. As you're breathing out, repeat to twist to your right. As you inhale, open the arms out, either staying here or lean a bit forward, as your hand might reach the outside of the knee or the forearm to the thigh. We will release from here as you place your hands onto the mat. Finding a plank or a kneeling plank, your choice. Go through your flow or take a break. As you exhale, lower if you're flowing. Inhaling to your back bend, cobra or up dog. And a breath out to child's pose or downward facing dog. Pause here for a moment. Let your breath flow. Feel it coming in and out of the nose. Noticing your level of connection towards your intention for the practice, towards your inner self, or if you got lost within the movement, which is fine too, just gathering yourself now. From all fours or your downward facing dog, breathe in to lift your left leg. Breathe out and bring your left knee towards your nose. Hold it here, foot lifted, knee lifted. And then maybe landing your foot between your hands. We will start with the warrior one stance, so please take your right foot a bit out and in. Place it, if possible, in your angle to the mat. Keep your front knee in a bend. Find your interlace, maybe a little bit higher than this. Push into the ground. As you inhale, bring your hands up to your heart. Turn the palms down. Exhale, pushing towards the earth. Inhaling as your arms lift in front. And while we're while we're keeping the hands interlaced, we're twisting towards the left. And as you breathe in, then keep the wrist at flexion, opening the arms out. And with the exhale, lower the arms, turn to the front, finding your interlace again. Inhaling, lift back to the heart. Exhaling, down to the earth. Inhaling, lift at the front. And if you like, the heel can come off the ground as you go into the twist. Breathing in as you open. And you can stay here, or you can deepen, forearm to the thigh, or hand or arm to the outside of your knee, or in a twisted lunge. To release, let your arms swing down, your hands come towards the mat, stepping the foot forward. Take a breath in as you come to half lift position. On your out breath, fold. Taking your hands back into their interlace. As you breathe in, pull your hands up to your heart space. Turn down, maybe the knees bending a little bit deeper, like a chair pose, you're pushing down. Take the arms forward as you inhale, maintaining your chair. Breathe out, sit a little bit lower into it. Arms could be lower if you need to. Push down into the feet as you're breathing in. On your out breath, bending to one side. Inhaling, come up. Soften the knees a fair bit as you're releasing your arms down, showering yourself. Interlace again. Breathe in, lift to your heart. Bend the knees even more, like a chair pose, as you're pushing down towards your knees. Lift the arms, maybe all the way around your ears for a chair pose. And breathe out to sit in even deeper. As you push your feet into the ground, inhaling to lift. Exhaling, bending to your left. Inhaling as you rise. Please bend the knees a bit as you shower yourself coming into your standing forward bend. Taking a breath in for a half lift. You can now step your feet back into down dog or come onto all fours. On your next in-breath, lifting your right leg. As you breathe out, bring your knee to your nose and pause here again. Keep lifting your knee to your chest or your nose, your foot upwards away from the ground. And then if possible, landing the foot forward in between the hands. Again, you might step or adjust your back foot a little. See if you can ground it to the mat. Interlacing your hands. Remember, you can stay a bit higher. As you push down into the floor, breathe in, lift your hands to your heart. Turn the palms down, breath out as you're pushing to the floor. Now, while you breathe in, lean the spine forward. Like we did in the chair pose, the arms are lifting more around your ears. Keep grounding down through the back foot if you like or can. Then push the back heel off the ground, moving more towards an arrowhead. Could be even stronger now. Let's bend the back knee a little as you're lifting through your arms. And as you're breathing out, let your arms reach out and find your twist again. Breathing in as you come high. And breathing out as if you're leaning forward. Get your arms behind your back again. Lower the heel. Lengthen from the top of the head your arms, and maybe a full humble warrior, or you're leaning onto your thigh if you prefer. Let your head go if you can. Keeping the arms lifted. If you want that little bit extra, touch the palms together, keeping your hands firmly interlaced. Then release the hands. Find them back on the mat. Lift your heel again. If you need support, bring your knee down. Otherwise, step the foot back into a full plank, full on kneeling plank. I invite you to lower all the way down onto the floor this time while you're breathing out. Let your arms come behind your back. If that's okay for your shoulders, interlace the hands. While you're breathing in, lift head, chest, legs, and maybe your arms. Same option here with the palms apart or touching. Inhale. And as you're exhaling, pull your arms to the right and the upper body down to the left. Inhale, center, and repeat. Arms to the left, upper body to the right. Inhale, center again. Hands down by the sides as you're breathing out to lower. Inhale, come to all fours. You want an extended child's pose, have that, or return straight away to down dog. Again, please do check in with the energy levels that you're working with now. They might have changed a bit. Settle your breathing, come back to deep in and out breaths. Allowing your breaths to be full, nourishing, without any stress or strain, but deep. And when you take your next inhalation from all fours or a down dog, the left leg reaches up and back. And on the out breath, bring your knee to your nose and hold it here. Knee lifted, foot lifted away from the ground, rounded back as you hold. Landing your foot between your hands. Again, please try and ground while you step the back foot a little bit out, the whole back foot onto the floor. Front knee stays in a bend. Now you would begin here with the odd interlace of your fingers. As you take a breath in, pulling your hands up to your heart as you rise. Palms pushing down, your out breaths as you're pressing down towards the mat. While you reach the arms forward, lifting the arms around the ears, grounding still down into the outer edge of the back foot to begin with. If you want that little bit more, lift the back heel off the floor, maybe deepen the pose from here. To release it, bend your back knee, lifting up tall into your lunge. And we will open the arms out all the way into a twist on the out breath. While you inhale, lifting the arms. Think about your quality, but also start to approach your humble warrior. The hands coming back into the interlace. The back foot might be grounded. Arms might lift away from the back. You can again support belly on the thigh, or you can approach a full humble warrior. Relax a bit through the neck, choosing the palms touching or apart, and breathe. As we release the hands down to the mat, lift the back heel, lower the back knee to the ground, and let the other knee join in, hip distance or a little bit further apart. Now, if you like, you can take a block. It's not essential for this pose, but it might aid with your stability. So if you choose to use a block, please tuck the toes under and place the block this way in between the heels. So you've got about the hip distance between the heels. As you come to stand up on your knees, start to press the heels into the block. You will notice that there's parts of the legs and the glutes switching on if you do so. Hold it here. Interlace the hands at the front, not much of a surprise. Let's take a breath in, lift the hands to the heart. Turn the palms down, breathe out, pushing towards the earth. As you inhale, lifting the arms, start to open through the heart space. If it feels good, keep pulling the arms back, lifting through the chest. And then as you release that, breathe out, circle the arms around as if you're showering yourself. Change the interlace. Breathe in, lift the hands back to the heart. Turn the palms down, breath out as you're pushing towards the floor. Please keep your heels digging into the block. As you inhale, lift the arms, open. If you want to extend that, you can release the hands earlier and either place them into your lower back or even towards the block. Starting to open the front body more. I invite you to stay here 2 full breaths, your variation of the pose. To release, let's come out in a different way. Bending your knees, your hips. If you've had a block here, release that, untuck your toes, maybe take the block in front or stack your fists. Relax the head down, find some length in the back of the neck, maybe release your arms. And with that, let the shoulders come forward. Your choice, of course, to rest the forehead onto the floor instead. Allow yourself a few breaths just to expand into the body, nothing else. To expand and to release as you soften towards the floor. Reconnecting to the sensations in your body. Reconnecting to your inner self. Your intention for the practice this morning. And I will invite you from here to keep a support measure. We'll use that now for bridge and inversion variation by the side. So this could be a cushioning, a blanket, or anything really. As you come to sit over to one side and extend your legs out to the front. If you would like to put your socks back on, that might be a nice idea, but I would rather place them by the side of the mat because you would want that grip of the bare feet against the floor. Jumpers are fine to wear if you need any. Let's lift the arms out as you take a breath in. And as you're breathing out, bring your hands in with yourself as you're rounding, tucking the chin in and releasing down onto the mat. Your hands might still be in front of the chest in Anjali Mudra. Let your arms release down by the sides, palms onto the floor, and begin to step your feet onto the ground. Take them straight out to about hip distance. You might, if you're watching me, notice that I've adjusted my pelvis slightly. And then step your feet up as close as they can naturally get to the buttocks and place the feet down onto the floor, toes facing forward so that the pelvis is aligned. Make sure that you've got a support in reach. Have your arms by your sides now. While you take your breath in, tilt the pelvis so to almost press the whole spine into the floor. Then engage your glutes, and as you're breathing out, pushing the hips up into the bridge. Now, I invite you to rest in the bridge for a moment. Either can you extend your bridge by interlacing the hands, walking the shoulders under, or if you've had enough shoulder work and you would like to extend, you've got a block or something a bit harder, lifting the heels off the ground so you're able to place that high up underneath the sacrum. And please don't place it any higher. If you are able to see myself now, the block is only on the sacrum, the rest of the spine is hanging loose. If you feel comfortable here, lock halfway up, all the way up, or flat on the ground. Let the arms open. Your feet can relax now. They don't have to be that close. Maybe close the eyes. I will ask you to invite space into the hips, the hip flexors. We've done a lot of movement forward today and only one back bend really so far, besides the one within the vinyasa. Maybe you're even able to get your intention or the color together with your breath to expand into the area of your foundation, your pelvis. If any of you feel it is appropriate, you could carefully extend your legs. I will invite you to either stay here or to mildly invert. As you can have for the inversion, your block halfway up like mine is, or flat onto the ground. Still only have your sacrum resting. If your block is halfway up, you might keep a hold of the block. Slide your knees up one after the other, gently lifting towards the chest. And you might from here extend your legs towards the ceiling. You can keep your legs quite soft, and if you found a spot where the block is on the sacrum and is not slipping out, you might be able to open your arms. And for sure, is that an opportunity when the block is flat? Just allow yourself to be upside down for a few breaths. Let the shoulders relax if possible, and allow everything to come back down towards you. If you can't close the eyes in this position, maybe gazing at your toes to have a steady gaze point. When your next gentle out breath comes, bend both knees again. You might take a grip of the block again as you're stepping one foot down after the other. I do ask you now to align your feet back so the toes are facing forward. Engage your glutes as you push your hips up. Remove your block or support from underneath. Arms by your sides, and then roll the spine down very slowly. We've been in this back bend inversion posture for quite some time. Allow yourself to roll back down onto the floor, and if possible, resting within the natural curve of the spine. opening the arms. And if you like, you can finish this with a twist to one and then the other side. Or if you prefer, you can hug the knees into the chest. Please notice what's right for you. I will encourage you then to come into your relaxation. So entering Shavasana, if you have a bolster by and you like that underneath your knees, you can have it there. If you prefer your legs out long, perfectly fine. You don't have a bolster, you need support, and step your feet onto the ground. As we are at home, my blanket is occupied. I've still got Sammy here with me, but you might have one. Cushion yourself up. Find a way to relax the body. If you can, close the eyes. If not, steady your gaze. And allow yourself the first few breaths, an observation of your body coming into stillness, returning full cycle to when we began. Although we were seated in the beginning, the body was still when we started. Here in Shavasana, you can let go of all the strength of your muscles. Observe how the body is slowly releasing. If there's parts of the body that don't feel like they are letting go, let your out-breath help them by bringing the focus in this part of the body that's still holding on. And as you're exhaling, let that loose a little bit more. As your body relaxes, so will your breaths be slow, more subtle. You can, of course, keep your awareness simply with your breath, which is perfect in itself. Or you could invite back the color turquoise to awaken empathy. When you empathize with people, you let go of your judgments and place yourself in other people's shoes. Allow your spirit to soften and receive an opportunity to support, encourage, and inspire others. Hold the color turquoise, maybe even later on as a crystal or a flower, to remind you of your ability to help and empathize with others. Then tell someone who needs to hear it that you care about them. The biggest way to prevent diseases is to show others that they matter. Say, I can now place myself in other people's shoes and talk to them from a place of love and compassion. Let the color turquoise fade in your mind and maybe revisit it throughout the day. As you begin to deepen your breathing, start to move slightly, maybe have stretches or make movements bigger. And from this place, then returning your body into a seated pose, sitting up over the front or rolling to your side. And I invite you for a last time this morning to interlace your hands in your lap or in front of you. Breathing in to lift the energy to your heart space. And then as you're breathing out, maybe touching the interlaced hands in front of your chest. You could then release that into Anjali Mudra, keeping the thumbs in contact with the chest. And from this place, we extend from within to each other. Namaste.